10 Secrets and Tricks to Learn Any New Language Quickly. Born in 9 languages, Matthew speaks fluent and skilled and understands more than 12 other languages. He can switch from one language to another as smoothly as a chameleon's color change. When Matthew asked how he knew all those languages while others struggled long to learn a second language, this young British man gave us 10 tips that help us learn languages easily. 1. I know why you learn the language. This may seem obvious, but if you do not have a good reason to learn the language, you will lose the primary motivation to continue learning it. If you want to convince English speakers in your French, make sure that this will not be a sufficient reason to get them to learn it. But to communicate with a French in his language is a completely different matter. 2. Find a partner. Matthew learned several languages with his twin brother Michel, where they learned the Greek language together when they were only 8 years old. So Matthew and Michel acquired the language through a healthy rivalry among the brothers. If you do not find a brother who competes with you and shares the journey of learning the language, then you should search for a partner that motivates you to continue learning. And this matter is very useful for practicing speaking with your partner. 3. Talk to yourself. When you don't have someone to talk to yourself. It may seem strange, but in reality, when you speak with yourself in a different language, this is a good way to practice the language, especially if it is not available to use it at all times. This command makes you memorize new words and phrases in your mind by heart, and helps you build your confidence in the next time you will speak that language with others. 4. Make the language closely related to your daily life. You learn the language to be able to use it with others and not to speak it with yourself. Talking to others makes the language useful and usable in your daily life. And you will be able to achieve this if you learn the language by writing songs and generally wanting to talk to people to use the vocabulary with others or to use it while you are traveling to a country. 5. Enjoy the language. Use the new language in any way. You can think of some fun, creative ways to practice your new language, such as presenting a radio play with a friend or by writing poems. 6. Behave like a child. This does not mean that you will suffer a similar anger when you want to get food, but rather that you are ready to make mistakes in pronunciation and arranging words very simply. As for the myth of children's success in learning languages faster than adults, this is not true. Learning languages is not related to an age. We have to learn from making mistakes like children and change the word I cannot with the phrase I have not learned that before now. 7. Prepare for embarrassing situations. Being prepared to make mistakes means being prepared to put yourself in embarrassing situations, and this can be intimidating, but this is the only way to develop and improve your language skills. It does not matter how much time you learn, but the important thing is how the language will help you to order a meal in a restaurant or in asking about an address. And whenever you succeed in that, you can manage the language so that it becomes easy and enjoyable. Until you reach that stage, you will face some difficulties with grammar, correct pronunciation, or even word order. 8. Listen. You must learn to listen before you can enjoy speaking. Each language sounds strange when you first hear it, but after exposure to its vocabulary you will become more familiar with it and make it easier for you to speak it correctly. 9. Watch how the language people speak. Different languages require different needs in how to move your tongue, lips, and use your throat. How to pronounce and letter executions is a physical mechanism in addition to being mental, and it may seem difficult at first, such as watching and simulating someone's pronunciation. But after a while you will be able to do so easily. All you need is persistence and practice. 10. Learn to dive into the language. Regardless of the methods you use to learn the language, it is important to practice the new language every day. Matthew says, if you intend to learn a new language, you must use it throughout the day. Try to think of it and write with it until you completely surround yourself with it. Remember, the best result will be for you when others understand you and when you succeed in having a simple conversation. Do not be alarmed by speaking to others in their own language in a bad way or from making a lot of mistakes. They will accept it if you tell them that you want to learn their language and want to help you. Source: Babbel magazine.